Let's be honest, we all know men often pretend to be in control. Calm, collected, composed. But the truth is, there's a limit to how long a man can fake detachment, especially when an older woman touches him in a way that triggers something deep. Men can act like they're not easily affected, but their bodies give away what they won't say out loud. That's the thing. Desire can't always be hidden, especially when a woman knows exactly where and how to touch him. Touch isn't just about physical contact. It's about timing, connection, confidence, and unspoken cues. And for older women, those who've lived, loved, and learned, this knowledge becomes power. Why? Because they don't just touch to please, they touch to connect. And that's what drives men wild. In fact, psychological studies from the Kinsey Institute and the Journal of Sex Research confirm that men respond more intensely to emotional connection combined with physical touch than to visual stimuli alone, especially as they mature. Today, you'll discover the 7 places where a man can't hide his desire when touched by an older woman. And this isn't random or guesswork. These are real, studied reactions grounded in behavioral cues, nervous system responses, and lived experience. Number 1, the back of the neck. The first spot is subtle but powerful, the back of his neck. This isn't just a vulnerable place physically, it's symbolic. It's where the fight or flight system meets emotional safety. According to a 2017 study published in Frontiers in Psychology, gentle touch on the neck stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system. It relaxes the body, increases oxytocin, and lowers cortisol. And when this kind of touch comes from a woman who knows him, especially an older woman with a nurturing presence, it bypasses his mental defenses. Men associate this touch with trust and security. He might stiffen for a second, then melt. He won't be able to keep that calm facade anymore. It's not about domination or seduction. It's about awakening something raw. Desire shows in the little things, the pause in his speech, the shift in his eyes, the slow lean into your hand. He doesn't need to say it. You'll see it. Number 2, inside of the wrist. You wouldn't think the wrist is a major touch point, but this area holds more nerve endings than most people realize. The skin there is thin, the blood vessels are close to the surface, and it's usually exposed, making it a deeply intimate zone. There's a case study in the Archives of Sexual Behavior that followed couples who had been married over 20 years. One recurring pattern? Light, fleeting touch on the wrist during conversation reignited emotional closeness and led to higher reports of physical intimacy. When an older woman takes a man's wrist gently during conversation, while laughing, or even while making a point, it sends a clear message. I see you and I'm here with you. It grounds him. It's not aggressive. It's subtle yet undeniable. He may not even know why his breathing shifts or why his heart rate quickens, but it does. By the way, if this is resonating and you've ever found yourself asking, why did he pull away when things were just getting good? We created something just for you. It's called the 7-Step Male Mind Decoder, and it breaks down exactly what's going on in his head, even when he won't say a word. You'll learn how to read the signals, spot real commitment, and stop second-guessing yourself. The link to download it is in the description. And yes, it's free. Number 3, the lower back. Here's where things start getting undeniably primal. A woman who places her hand on a man's lower back, whether guiding him through a doorway, walking beside him, or just standing close, signals protection, closeness, and heat. The lower back is tied to both sensual and instinctive response. Neurologically, it's close to the sacral nerves, which are associated with sexual arousal and body positioning. There's a fascinating experiment done at the University of California, where participants rated feelings of closeness and desire based on different types of touch. The simple act of a palm resting on the lower back resulted in significantly higher arousal levels, especially when the person delivering that touch was seen as confident and emotionally in sync. For older women, this is a powerful space to use, not for control, but for quiet connection. When a man feels that guiding pressure at his back, he feels safe and seen. And most of all, he feels wanted. That's when desire surfaces. It's not the flashy touches, it's the intentional ones. Number 4, his jawline. Now we're entering dangerous territory. The jawline. Why? because this area is associated with masculinity, pride, and self-control. It's where a man hides his emotion. It's also where he tries to keep his expression neutral, to not give anything away. But touch that space gently with your fingertips or just a light brush, and it's over. His desire can't hide. He'll tense slightly, his eyes may lower, and he'll become unusually still. Why does this happen? Neuroscientists from McGill University found that touch on the face, especially when combined with eye contact, produces a dopamine surge in the reward centers of the brain. That's the same area activated during moments of intense craving. It's also linked to romantic bonding and long-term attraction. For older women, this becomes even more effective. Your touch carries experience. Your fingers don't just touch, they read. And when you reach up and touch his jawline, it tells him something words never could. You don't need to pretend around me. Number 5, his inner thigh while sitting close. Now we go deeper. The inner thigh is one of the most guarded areas for men, but also one of the most responsive. We're not talking about sexual escalation. We're talking about closeness, mystery, anticipation. In long-term relationship studies conducted at Rutgers University, couples who touched each other's thighs without directly aiming for sexual activity reported greater emotional anticipation and psychological arousal than those who jumped straight into more obvious gestures. Why? Because it taps into tension, and tension is where desire lives. When an older woman places her hand on a man's thigh during a conversation while laughing or while leaning in, she creates suspended desire. He doesn't want the moment to end. He may shift in his seat, he may breathe deeper, but he won't be able to hide it. His body will respond even if his words don't, and that's the truth. Real desire often lives in the space between words. Number 6, his palm during unexpected moments. One of the most overlooked places to touch a man is right in his hand, but not in the usual way. We're not talking about a handshake or casual palm slap. We're talking about holding his palm gently and tracing it slowly with your thumb during a conversation. That's where the magic happens. There's a classic 2004 study in the journal Emotion that showed the difference between regular hand-holding and intimate palm contact. When women intentionally touched the center of the male palm with light pressure, it activated emotional recall and increased vulnerability. That's because the palm is where we receive the world. It's where we give, work, and build. Touching it signals, you don't have to build a wall with me. For an older woman, this is a quiet but piercingly effective move. Sitting together, lightly taking his hand, and slowly tracing your thumb along his palm as you talk. That's when he forgets what he was saying. That's when he loses the ability to keep up the cool guy act. He leans in. He smiles differently. He feels differently. Number 7, behind the ear during whispered conversation. Finally, the most delicate and revealing spot, right behind his ear. Why does this matter? Because it's private, it's sensitive, and it's impossible to ignore. It's also tied directly to the vagus nerve, which governs both calming sensations and arousal responses. In a peer-reviewed case study published in Psychology of Intimacy, couples who frequently whispered and touched around the ear region during conversation had higher levels of sustained emotional and physical desire over a 10-year period. That's not coincidence. That's chemistry. When an older woman leans in and lets her fingers briefly stroke just behind his ear, especially when saying something quiet, it creates an immediate shift. His breath may catch, his eyes may close for a second. It's involuntary. It's real. And no matter how much he wants to keep cool, he can't. Because behind the ear is where secrets live. And when she touches him there, it tells him, "You're not just another man, you're my man." So let's break the illusion once and for all. Men aren't immune to touch, especially not from an older woman who knows her power. These 7 places, they're not tricks, they're keys. Keys that unlock desire, emotion, trust, and chemistry. Because an older woman doesn't touch like a teenager chasing approval. She touches like a woman who's lived through storms and still chooses softness. That's what makes men respond. That's why they can't hide it. Their breath gives it away. Their posture gives it away. Their eyes give it away. So if you're an older woman wondering how to spark that silent fire in a man, how to make him feel something he hasn't felt in years, Don't underestimate the power of a well-placed, well-timed touch, not to seduce, but to connect, to awaken, to remind him he's alive and deeply seen. And the best part, he'll never look at you the same way again, not because of what you said, but because of what he felt. His desire, it won't hide. It'll rise, raw and real, just beneath your fingertips. If you're tired of guessing what he's thinking and you're ready to attract a man who actually shows up the way you deserve, go grab your free copy of the 7-Step Male Mind Decoder. It's helped thousands of women cut through the confusion and finally feel confident in love again. Just click the link in the description to get instant free access.